Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. The modern release I want to look at today is Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania for the Nintendo Switch. I was really excited about this game. First of all, I'm a huge Monkey Ball fan, especially from the GameCube era, the that 6th generation of consoles there. I really loved the early Monkey Ball games. I think they are some of the best puzzle platforming games ever. I think they're just so much fun. I guess they're not really platforming, are they? Some of the most fun puzzle games ever. I really enjoy the Monkey Ball series. I think the main story modes are always really fun, and the side modes can be a ton of fun to play with my friends as well, and I always had a great time growing up. Now I don't have as many friends to just call up and say, hey, let's go play Monkey Ball with. So I did a lot of the side modes on my own, but I will say that they're pretty decent this time around. I think Monkey Flight, is that what it's called? Oh man. I'm trying to remember if it's called Monkey Flight, where you actually try and land on a platform and get the most points. I feel like it's a weird, it feels different than what I remember it being. It doesn't feel as smooth or fluid. It doesn't feel as intuitive. I found that to be the case with a lot of the side modes there. They were passable. I think that they are not as good as they used to be, but they still service the same function. So I think they're fine, especially if you have friends. I'm sure they're much more enjoyable. But I want to talk about the bulk of this review. I want to talk about the main story mode because I have very mixed feelings about this game. Again, I was very excited to get this one because I got it for $5 on sale, brand new. I got some crazy deal one week at GameStop. I'm like, sweet, I better go take advantage of this. I hadn't played a Monkey Ball game since I think was it the Wii? I've played a couple here and there, just my friends have, but I've never sat down and finished a game since I want to say Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, if I'm remembering correctly. So it's been a while, and I was excited to get back into the game, and I'd heard some good things about this one. And I jumped in and I had a pretty good time for a while at least. I think that the challenge in Monkey Ball is typically the most fun part about it. You have the first world that shows you the ropes, helps you kind of get introduced to the difficulty that you're going to have some little challenges here and there, and then it starts to ramp up from there. And I found that to be the case here. The first few worlds are pretty good. They're a good introduction. I felt they were a little bit on the light side for the most part. Didn't see anything super crazy. Super Monkey Ball 2 is specifically my favorite one in the franchise, and they have some really hard maps. This one didn't start to ramp up until much later. But my biggest criticism of this game is that the challenge that comes from a lot of these maps felt really gimmicky or very just RNG dependent. Case in point, there's one where you drop into a little bowl area, and you have these launchers that will shoot you up the side of a big pillar in the middle of the room, and you have to get shot through and hit your mark. It is incredibly imprecise. It felt like every time I try and get some kind of consistent setup to try and look at the clock and determine a specific time I should be hit by this bumper here, it just never was consistent. I got thrown different directions. I got thrown straight up. I wouldn't come down straight down the right way. It all came down to me just getting lucky one of those times, and it took so long. Now, the frustration in Monkey Ball can be really fun, but stuff like this doesn't feel fun. It just feels like I'm waiting for the random time where it happens to everything align and I end up getting the goal. It just does not feel very satisfying for a lot of these levels, and that's what I did not like about this. The last world specifically, I think is garbage. I think there is one level, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I think it was the 9th level, if I'm not mistaken. One level I felt was incredibly well designed and I loved it. Every other level sucked. The first level of the 10th world felt like a cakewalk. The first couple, I want to say. And then there was one that was this giant maze that was absolute bullcrap. It was terrible. I hated it. It was one of the worst designed Monkey Ball levels I've ever played. It felt like an absolute chore to try and figure out the right path. And even when you get the right path, sometimes you just would fall off randomly. You wouldn't get I have the same speed, the same setup every time, and sometimes I just wouldn't make my jump. It was absolutely infuriating, and I hated it. I really, really hated it. There are so many levels in this game that just felt frustrating, and not fun frustrating, not I'm going to figure it out or figure out some jank way to finish this level. It was, this is the worst designed thing I've ever played. So Monkey Ball Banana Mania really pissed me off in a lot of ways. There were several times where I just did not want to finish this game. because the levels just kind of suck sometimes. But on the other hand, what kept me going were the really excellently designed levels. There were several that I had a ton of fun with. Some of the levels I even felt driven to like do the challenge mode where you try and get every single banana on them. They felt like very precise. There was one specifically where it had like different width bridges to go across, like little, they'd come up like this. And so you had to get enough momentum to go up and back over, but then you had to kill your momentum right at the peak, otherwise you'd fall off the other end. I thought it was really cool, and they'd get more and more narrow. And trying to get every single banana was a really hard thing, but it was really satisfying. I really enjoyed that. Those levels really made my experience so much better. I really enjoyed them. I was so excited to play levels like that. They just were few and far between, unfortunately. So it was kind of a mixed bag here. I'd either have really good levels, have some in between, but then really awful levels too. Some of them really were challenging. Some of them were like a little bit frustrating, but more fun to figure out and like learn what I was doing wrong on there. But a lot of the times it just boiled down to being, I think, just kind of poor design. The story mode itself is just serviceable. It's like the little monkeys watching on a TV and seeing like it's like still like barely moving images. It's not like fully animated cutscenes or anything like that. It's fairly basic. It's really cutesy. I think it's fine. I mostly skipped through the storyline. I didn't really care after a while. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not even following this. I'm just doing it to play the storyline levels here. I think it's fine. I don't think it's anything to write home about. So this experience for me was a little bit of a bittersweet one because I really wanted to like this game, but I ended up ultimately just having an okay experience overall. So the highs are very, very high. I really enjoyed some of the levels. Some of them are really peak Monkey Ball, and the other ones are the worst Monkey Ball I've ever played. So I'm going to give this one, just because some of the levels were so good, I'm going to give this one a silver rank. This could even be like closer to a bronze. I could be like a silver, between silver and bronze here. I'm going to stick with silver just because of the legacy of Monkey Ball and how much I like it and how much I did enjoy those good levels. And the side modes are engaging enough. I think it is worth your time, especially if you're going to find a price point like I did for $5. I think it's worth your time to check out, but just know there will be a lot of frustration. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.